Hello everyone, so today I'm back in. Today I'm going to talk about something that as a college student and as, teenager, I really struggle with and that I see other teenagers struggle with. Um, and it's going to be really hard to talk about, personally, and it's sexual immorality. Which, the big thing for teenagers is the sex before marriage part. Um, Many of us have been, you know, have committed sexual immorality, whether it be having sex with somebody who is not your spouse, um, looking at porn, um, just, things of that nature. And I've committed sexual immorality, and I'm coming from um, a place of total honesty. And you know, it's tough to change that kind of pattern. Um, a lot of the times because some people feel like that's how you get that feeling of love or that feeling of connection with someone, and that's not true. Um, so yes, this is gonna be really hard for me to talk about, just because of the personal ness of it. But we're gonna start off with a verse from 1 Corinthians 6:18. And it says, "Flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a person commits are outside of the body, but whoever sins sexually sins against their own body." Okay. Now, when I've read this a few times, and I've had time to think about it, and it says that it says you sin against your own body. Okay. So if you've ever heard somebody say your body is a temple, it says you sin against your own body. When you commit sexual immorality, you're using a gift that God has created, which would be sexuality, and you're using it in the wrong context. Okay, it's meant to be used after under the covenant of God. And when you take it out of that context, it then becomes tainted, okay? And you're sinning against your own body because you weren't meant, you're exposing yourself to something that you weren't meant to be exposed to. You're prematurely exposing yourself to something. And, it's really hard. It's really hard, especially when you have committed sexual immorality and you're trying to change. It can be hard, because that's your heart. It doesn't make you a bad person. It just means that you need to work. You need anything that would continue on that pattern. You need to cut it out. It's toxic. Um, I do understand why God said you're not supposed to have sex before marriage. And I'm gonna explain that to you. Sex, it bonds you to a person spiritually and physically, and that's called a soul tie. And every time I have an example of what I mean when I say that. Every time you have sex with somebody, this is you. So this is you. Your body's a temple, so it's a little messed up. It's okay. But you're imperfect. This is you. When you have sex with somebody, what happens is you then go from being whole to being a half. You then give this half to that person. Okay? Now, that's when you have sex with one person, right? It's not bound. You and that person are not bound under a covenant of God. Okay? So what happens is when you have sex before marriage, you're giving this half of yourself to that person, right? And then that person takes it, and if you break up and stuff, and that person has that half of you, and that person has sex with other people, what happens is that half of you gets torn again and gets given to that other person. And then so on, and it just keeps in your soul, and these are your soul ties. They just keep going on, and they just keep going, they just keep becoming little itty bitty pieces of yourself that are gone, okay? And then you're left with this. And when you're left with only this, feel you feel empty, you feel like something's missing. And that's because it is. That other half of you that has been distributed upon other people is missing. And that is what a soul tie is. You are still connected to all these people that have that piece of you. Okay? And that's not what God intended, okay? God intended for it to be like this. Okay. So say this is you, right? And this is your spouse. When you guys get married and you have sex under a covenant of God, here's what happens. Their half, that's them, right? You get that tie, and you get that tie, right? And you know what happens? You guys just keep exchanging that with each other. So no matter what, you're still whole. You are still whole. Baby girl, baby guy, honey, sweetheart, you're still whole. You're still whole. It's not that soul, that connection isn't being distributed to others, okay? And I think that when I heard it that way, I really understood why it wasn't meant to be used out of the covenant of God. It wasn't meant to be used out of marriage. And it's just, it's hard, okay? It is. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not hard to try, it's hard. It's really hard. But some advice that I have that I was given is that person that you always seem to go back to, that you know is not good for you and your spirit and your faith, you need to cut them off, okay? And it's gonna be hard. You're gonna that person that you always go back to because they make you feel good, but they're not healthy for you. You have to let it go. You have to let them go. God has somebody out there for you that is gonna love you no matter what. Even with the sexual immorality that you're committing, God has somebody out there for you. They're gonna love you. They're gonna enhance you. They're gonna make you better. They're gonna make you feel better. And I don't mean that as in I don't mean that to say that they're gonna complete you, because I don't believe that God puts two incomplete people together. I think God puts two complete people together. What I mean by that is that if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're not trying to help you grow yourself spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, then they're not meant for you. That's what I mean by they will help complete you, okay? And they'll help enhance you. And that's why I believe, that's why sex was made for marriage, and I'm like I said earlier, I struggled and struggle with this concept of sexual immorality. I've had to deal with consequences that have come from me committing sexual immorality, and it's hard. hard, to have that kind of baggage. But like always, God and Jesus are there to take that baggage from you. Okay? They're there. They're there to say, just come home. Just understand that I forgive you for everything that you've done, and you have to accept that. You have to be willing to accept that and to forgive yourself, like I talked about in my last video. God forgives you. Be willing to accept that and forgive yourself, um, and to do better. When you know better, you do better. And I'm not gonna say that you'll never commit another sin, because that's not true. Because you will. Because I have. I've I've accepted Jesus Christ as my Savior, and I have still committed sexual immorality even after that. I've gotten baptized, and I've still committed sexual immorality. And the I believe the difference is that before I I didn't I didn't really know the impact that it had on me, but now I do, and now I know, and I'm more open about it. I'm way more honest about it now. Um, I tell my pastor, I'm like, hey, look, you know me, and I trust you, and she, or they, because they're a couple, they hold me accountable for my actions, and they do. They say, you're better than this. You know better. I know you know better. Do better. And as much as I say that she lectures me, I appreciate the lectures because it reminds me that she cares. And I think that that's really what I need. I need somebody there that's going to, hold me accountable. She cares about me so much that sometimes, yeah, what she says does hurt my feelings, but I know that she's telling me the truth and that she's telling me these things that might hurt my feelings in the moment to better me in the long run. And we've had some tough conversations, and I've learned that you have to be open about things that you go through so people can help you. There are people who are going to help you. She still helps me constantly. She still checks on me constantly. I think she might even know me better than I know myself, honestly, because when I call her sometimes, she sometimes can say, like, you're okay, you're acting a little weird, you're thinking about some things, you got somebody over that shouldn't be. And a lot of the time she's right, sometimes she's wrong, but it's you need that person that's gonna hold you accountable, okay? And there are people who care. There are people who are going through the same things as me, and you're not alone. I still struggle with this. You know, it's it's a battle, but I do also pray about it and ask God to just strengthen me. Because I know that for He has overcome this world, and that means that I shouldn't have to worry about anything because all I have to do is trust in Him, and He'll get it done. But it's not easy at all. If it was easy, nobody would struggle. Um, but it is hard. It's really hard, and you just have to pray about it. You just have to trust that God is gonna heal your heart, and that He will break all of these soul ties that you have to other people and make you whole again. Okay. And that honestly is my prayer for everyone, is that if you are struggling with this, um, that you allow God to heal your heart, and that you allow Him to make you whole again, and just cut off those things in your life that are really pulling you in the wrong direction. It's gonna be hard, and it's gonna hurt even at first, but take it from me, in the long run, you're gonna see the impact. You're gonna see why you should let these people, let these things go, let these thoughts go. You have to guard your heart. You have to guard your heart, and if you let these things go, you will be guarding your heart. Okay. Um, I love you. Jesus loves you. And God bless.